Okay, boys and girls, we are now on lesson 26. We will be working on the I can statement. Decompose whole number fractions greater than 1 using whole number equivalents with various models. So today we will be using number lines and number bonds. And also when we say decompose, we're going to break it down. We're going to break down the whole number fractions greater than 1 today. Okay, here we go. We're going to partition the number line to show the fractional units. Then we're going to draw number bonds using copies of one whole for the circled whole numbers. As we can see, this is half, so I'm going to make sure I have 2 equal parts for each whole. And so that's my one whole. And for the second whole, I'm going to have another 2 parts. Okay, now we are going to label. Definitely, it's very important that we label our number line. So since it's halves, we start from 0 half, then 1 half, and then 2 halves. I always box the one with the whole numbers equivalents. Okay, so I can see if I'm really on the correct tick mark. Now, after 2 halves is 3 halves, and then of course 4 halves, and that's another whole number. Now, we are ready to fill in the blanks. 0 is equal to 0 halves. 1 is equal to 2 halves. And of course, 2 is equal to 4 halves. And it's right there. Now, to complete the number bond, how many bonds will I have for 1 for halves? Okay, so since it's equal to 1, it will have 1 half and 1 half. Now, to double check that, I'm going to have the drawing for one whole, which is this one. And of course, I'm going to shade in 1 half here and 1 half here, and that is actually equal to a whole. Now, for our 2, how many halves do I need to get 2? So of course, to get 2, I'm going to make 2 holes right here, which is equal to that. And since it's half, I'm going to partition it into 2 equal parts. So since it's 2 shaded, that's 1. And I need another 2 shaded, and that's 2. That's why the answer is 2 halves. Okay, boys and girls, let's go to thirds. But this time I'm going to leave this for you and this for you. Okay? Alright, so let's begin by partitioning the number line into thirds. As you can see, this one is 2, 3, and 4. So that means I'm not going to start my labeling on 0 because 0 is going to be 0 thirds. So since we know how to skip count by 1/3, why don't we skip count back? So we know that this will be 1, and we know that this will have 3/3 because we know that top and bottom number, they're the same, and since we are on thirds, it's going to be equal to 1. Now we have 2 more tick marks here, and so we skip count now. 4/3, 5/3, 6/3, 7/3, 8/3, and 9/3. I'm going to stop right here, boys and girls, so you can complete your number line. Alright, let me answer the 2. How many thirds are there in 2? And that is the answer, which is 6. Next, I'm going to write how many thirds does a 2 have? It says 6, so why don't we think of a whole that has a 3 in the bottom, or the denominator. That is, of course, 3/3, and that's 1/3, one whole and another whole. Now, if you want me to draw this, it's gonna look like this. So since it's 2, that means my 2 holes look like that, and then of course 3 parts, and everything will be shaded. And that's just double checking that it's equal to 2 holes. Alright, boys and girls, that's it for this page. Just replay it if you are confused. Answer the last 2. And girls, now we are on the second page of lesson 26. Let's read number 2. It says, write the fractions that name the whole numbers for each fractional unit. So the first one has been done. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we are renaming the number 2, 3, and 4 wholes into fractions, as you can see that. So that means 4 halves is equal to 2, 6 halves is equal to 3, and 8 halves is equal to 4. Now, if you are confused, I'm going to show you a quick strategy on this. So, as you can see, you have 2 holes. I can draw it like this. And then always have 2 parts, and of course shade the whole thing. 2, 4. Now, for 3, of course you will have 1, 2, 3 holes, and then half, of course. But then it should be 6, right? So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's why it's 6 halves. Now for 4, I can make 4 holes. And each hole will have 2 parts. And I will shade 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's why they're equal. Okay, now I'm going to leave thirds for you and 6 for you. I'm going to do fourths. Okay, boys and girls? Now I'm going to use my number line. Okay, so if it says fourths, I'm going to have 4 parts for the number line. And then, of course, I can start with 0 fourths because this is a 2. Now, let me just think. Okay, now I know that I should have 4 in each, okay, for the total parts. And everything else here too. Everything, all the denominators or the bottom number will have 4 because of the fourths. Okay, so now I need to think what number should go here to equal to 2. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my drawing or model strategy. I'm going to just make 2 holes, and then instead of half, I'm going to make 4 parts. So now to make 2 holes, I will shade 4, 4, and that means it's going to be 8 fourths. So the answer here is 8. Now, let's keep count. 1 fourth, 8 plus 1 fourth, 1 is 8 fourth plus 1 fourth is 1 fourth. So that's 9. 8 fourth plus 1 fourth is 9 fourth. That's what I meant. And then this will be 10, 11, 12. Box that. 13, 14, 15, 16. Box that. So now I know that 3 is 12 fourths. And of course 4 is 16 fourths. How did I find that? It's right here. Okay, boys and girls, I hope you understood that part. So try your best to answer your thirds and your sixths. Now I'm going to jump to number 4 so you can do your 3 also. Okay, so let's take a look. Cindy feeds her dog 1/3 pound of food each day. Draw a number line to represent 1 pound of food. Partition the number line to represent how much food she uses each day. Okay, so now this is my number line for the whole pound of the dog food. Now it says 1/3. That means I'm going to have 3 parts because it has 3 in the bottom number. Now since I have thirds, I can start with 0 thirds, 1 thirds, 2 thirds, and 3 thirds. Now that's a whole. Okay, so I'm boxing that. Now it says she feeds her dog 1/3 pound of food each day. So that means I'm going to just use my blue marker. That means this 1/3 right here is for the first day. This 1/3 right here is for the second day. And this 1/3 right here is for the third day. Okay? So now draw another number line to represent 4 pounds of food. After 3 days, how many pounds of food has she given her dog? So now, instead of having 1 pound of food, now I'm going to draw a longer number line that has 4 pounds. So that means I can just continue my number line. Okay? So from 1, it's going to be 1, it's going to be 2, and then 3, and then 4. Alright? Now, let's shorten the number line. There you go. Alright, so now I am ready to skip count, but make sure that I have thirds too. Okay, make sure that all holes are in thirds. Are you ready? We stopped on thirds. So I'm just gonna copy that and write in black so you can see it clearly. So this is 4 thirds, 5 thirds, 6 thirds, 7 thirds, 8 thirds, and 9 thirds. 10, 11, 12 thirds. Alright, so now boys and girls, we are done with that number 9. Okay, it says after 3 days, how many pounds of food does she feed? Now I need to erase that, I can't see. Okay, given. There you go. Given her dog. So after 3 days. Okay, so remember this? I'm gonna color code it yellow. We know that it's 1/3 a pound of food each day. So this is first day, second day, and third day. Now, how many pounds of food has she given her dog after 3 days? So how many? That means the answer is 1 pound. Because that's your third day. Now after 6 days, how many pounds of food has she given her dog? So that's your third. Let's keep count. 4th, 5th, 6th. So how many pounds? The answer is 2 pounds. Alright, boys and girls, I hope everything is clear. If you have questions, shoot me a message on Dojo.